One of the most underappreciated Miami Dolphins is former first-round draft pick DeVante Parker. DeVante Parker has always been someone who's never really been much of a fan favorite outside of his rookie and maybe his sophomore year. Those first 2 years, we all saw the immense talent in spurts, but never really saw it for an extended period of time. But the critics have really come out in waves this past offseason, as if almost 12 months ago they weren't exclaiming with joy how DeVante is a legit top 10, I would say more 15, wide receiver in 2019, when he finished the year with 128 targets, 72 catches, 1,202 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And overall, he just looked like the part of a true alpha number one, running crisp routes, head fakes, shoulder dips, speed cuts, and of course high-pointing 50-50 balls that really felt almost 70-30. And if you really dive into his 2019 tape, he was not just able to beat on inferior competition like any of the Eagles cornerbacks, but he was also able to do it against top-tier cornerbacks like Tre'Davious White and even Stephon Gilmore, who really was wrapping up his Defensive Player of the Year season. And this is probably where you'll probably stop me and say, but Juan, that was 2019. It is now 2021. We signed Will Fuller, and we'll for sure be drafting a wide receiver. Trade him for a 5th round pick, they would tell me. And I would respond that a player doesn't just forget how to make those plays. And for the first time in his entire career, he actually fought through injuries. Too many times did a pulled hamstring leave him out maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks. But this year he wanted to be a leader and step up and play, even while hurt. And some of you guys not come for that still. Like, it truly, damned if you do, damned if you don't. He simply, in my opinion, needs somebody to trust him enough to give him the chance to make those plays. And truthfully speaking, his 2020 tape isn't even as bad as people make it out to be. Yes, he had games when he was next to useless. But truthfully, how many OCs go into a game not planning to get their weapons going early and often? And that's precisely what we had with Chan Gailey. And look, I'm not trying to beat up on him, right? He's retired, he's gone, he's, forbidden from the realm, whatever you want to say. But too many times would the Dolphins go into the second and third quarter with DeVante and to an extension Mike Gesicki too, having less than 5 targets combined. And realistically, those are our 2 main weapons. Who else is deserving of those targets? Preston Williams, Myles Gaskins, Dermot Smythe. There's not too many other names where I'm sitting here saying, why aren't our guys getting more involved? But if you look at the games where DeVante was being fed early and often, you saw the plays that he almost in a sense plays himself into a rhythm. Look at the game against Seattle, 12 targets, 10 catches, 110 yards. Against the Jets the second time, 14 targets, 8 catches, 119 yards. And even the season finale against the Bills, he had 14 targets, 7 catches, and 116 yards. And that's a guy I want on my team that, without even me looking at his contract details, which are extremely team friendly by the way, he just performs. And he showed, especially in this past season, that there's no other wide receiver on the roster who could do as many things as he could do at a high level. One of my favorite memories of him during the season is during the Bengals game. Him being ejected for going out on the field to stand up for his fellow wide receiver and Jakeem Grant. If you had told me that in his rookie year DeVante would eventually be fighting players over his teammates, I would think you're crazy, because DeVante had never really been that type of guy. He's always been more of the introverted person who's more of stuck to himself. But for the first time this year, I saw a fire to him. I saw a dog to him. I saw somebody that I really want to see continue to get chemistry with Tua and continue to grow to potentially be something special in the coming year with Will Fuller, with Mike Gesicki, and who knows, maybe Kyle Pitts, maybe DeVonta Smith, or maybe a plethora of any other wide receiver. So I think overall, the player that I'm most excited to see kind of grow and gel with Tua is DeVante Parker. I expect for them to really take a big jump in the next year, just because now they'll actually have a full off season to kind of get it working together and just to iron out all the little kinks that maybe they struggled with throughout the season last year, right? And I think overall, I just would suggest people to just be a little bit more patient. I think that the most ridiculous thing I've heard all offseason is this idea or this strategy of that every time you add a talented player, you can all of a sudden remove a talented player from the team. I think that to me is just ridiculous. I think the real strategy should be just to add as much talent as possible at as many positions as possible, especially wide receiver when you consider that the room itself, with guys like Preston Wilson, Albert Wilson, DeVante Parker, these are guys who have never really finished out a season or played out a complete season. And even Will Fuller, I'm leaving him out. These guys have never really finished a complete season, and we're going to need as many bodies as possible and as many talented bodies as possible to really help Tua take that next big jump, which we all expect and we all want. Please, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Till next time, peace.